So with the new Mortal Kombat trailer out, I figured what better time than now than to go back and take a look at the original janky Mortal Kombat movie. Like this video if you've seen the trailer, and comment down below your thoughts. I'm Mike Dangerous, and this is Talking Shots. Once upon a time, Mortal Kombat was the worst thing to happen to the fabric of society. Long before we had Lil Nas X twerking on Satan, which we talked about last week, we had Mortal Kombat in all of its bloody, pixelated glory. It's partially responsible for the ESRB and literal congressional hearings. Yes, these adults looked at this and thought, this needs to be stopped. I want you to keep that in mind as we watch this movie together. This franchise got the attention of the US Congress because of its violence. This movie opens up with the entirety of 1996 in song form. Then we cut to a shot of Shang Tsung beating the out of this poor boy on a temple. Turns out everybody's favorite movie trope comes and rears its ugly head, as it was all just a nightmare by this movie's protagonist, Liu Kang. That's the Bruce Lee-inspired guy in the games. And then generic 90s heavy metal as we meet military agents Sonya Blade and Jax, who are hunting down edgelord club owner Kano. This movie wastes no time introducing characters. We're not even 5 minutes in and we're already like halfway through the original game's roster. Then without missing a beat, out of nowhere in the middle of this active nightclub, a henchman busts out the 9, but Sonya Blade's too quick for him and the plot is set in motion.
Where's Kano?
Then cut to action movie star Johnny Cage in the most over-the-top temper tantrum of all time. And for a video game movie from the 90s, they're staying surprisingly true to a lot of the game's lore. I have no reason to drink on this show. I just kind of do it. Anyway, Shao Kahn, disguised as an old man, invites Johnny to the Fighting Island, which kicks off the events of the Mortal Kombat tournament, which will decide the fate of the literal world. You know, there's definitely a lack of agency going on here with that premise. Like, Raiden, the fucking lightning god, shows up and is just like, what's good, dude? Show me your moves. And then he flips his ass. Also, acting? Fuck it, bro. It's Mortal Kombat. It's a kid's movie. It's for kids and edgy teenagers. Kids who bought that Nevermind album on CD. I'm kids. This movie's for me.
You want me to carry your luggage? Yeah, I pay money, you carry the bags. Or is that too complicated?
No. I got it.
Good. Thank God I didn't ask him to park the car.
Okay, that was actually pretty funny. Then the Pirates of the Caribbean show up and whisk our fighters away. Barely 15 minutes into the movie and we meet arguably the most iconic characters from the series, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and honestly, it's pretty hype. Then Raiden shows up and scolds everyone, and then rotoscopes himself away from the scene. Some more memes ensue at the Bougie Boys' expense, and we are at the island where the tournament is going to be held. And, oh my god, that CGI reptile. It was a simpler time. Jesus, I forgot how many characters are in this movie. And I guess that was a trend at the time. Like in the 90s, if you were making a video game movie, the goal was to cram as many characters as possible into it, which in this movie I guess makes sense because it's a tournament. And honestly, the characters are pretty true to their original designs, and that's pretty cool to see. Unlike the Super Mario Bros. Movie. This lady is supposed to be Big Bertha, the fish. Also, this is Yoshi. Can you tell that Jurassic Park was like kind of popular at the time? This movie is so good. Anyway, back to this movie. Then this happens.
Flawless victory.
Okay, that's cute. Cut to Kano throwing mukbangs before they were cool, talking to a very impressive Goro animatronic. They really don't make them like they used to. The movie turns into a Zelda dungeon for a minute, and we have our first mini-boss fight against a reptile. He's the only one that doesn't really look like he does in the games, but it's okay. I'm not mad. This f***ing song again? The tournament is officially underway. People really forget just how good the fight choreo is in this movie, and actor Robin Chow did most of it in the scene. And there we go, let's do it. The whole movie's been building up to this one scene. Sonya is about to fight Kano, and wait, that's it? Okay. Then immediately after, we have another fight between Scorpion and Johnny Cage. This movie is literally 10 minutes of exposition and then an hour of fight scenes. Very good fight scenes, actually. For a video game movie from the 90s, they really went in with some of the fight choreo. While some of the direct game references are a little ridiculous, it's a ridiculous movie. It's Mortal Kombat. What did you expect? It's a game where you fight an ogre with 4 arms. Is this not what you came for? Are you not entertained? Then Scorpion fucking explodes. Then the fight with Sub-Zero happens and he does a lot of flips. I mean, a lot of flips. This one ends kind of anticlimactically too. Whatever. You know, this movie has almost the exact pacing of playing through the single player in the first Mortal Kombat to a T. This may be the most accurate video game movie ever made. This movie's literally 2 hours of fan service before fan service was even a thing. So after 45 minutes of fighting and an hour into the movie, we finally have a quiet scene, and it's literally just the characters talking about fighting. You know, the movie does really live up to its title. If about nothing else, it really is about mortals in combat. It's around the hour mark that this movie's pace really begins to crawl. Like in the beginning, everyone's cracking jokes and being goofy and it's a good time. But now that everyone's serious and trying to seriously portray a story, it's not that good. The one actor who really kills it though is Kari Kiroyuki Takagawa as Shang Tsung. He is just a delight to watch, and he's having so much fun in this role, and it warms my little heart that he's in the new games as Shang Tsung. Or Shang Tsung. My bad. Anyway, Goro dies like a bitch. Then Shang Tsung kidnaps Sonya into the early CGI realm. Finally, we're at a fight with Reptile after some CGI weirdness, and this one's another good one. They even use the announcer voice from the games when he's revealed. This movie definitely knows its audience. The soundtrack is a mix between Praga Khan and early nu metal. And yes, it dates the movie, but I don't care. The soundtrack CD is in my eBay shopping cart right now. The gang pulls a Star Wars, and then the movie turns into the stereotypical 90s climax with the lady chained up, and the protagonist and the antagonist say some mean things to each other, and we have the last fight. And oh my god, it's that f***ing song again. I'm just goofing. I'm not mad at all. The song's a banger. Then a bunch of non-canon characters show up, so the last fight scene isn't 2 minutes long. A lot of jumping and kicking in this one. Bro, you literally saw him transform right in front of you. Why are you falling for this trope? I will admit, the final boss fight is pretty climactic, and it even has the game over spikes from the games and everything. Shang Tsung dies, the souls are released, and everything is right with the world. That is until the sequel, which came out the following year. This movie is ridiculous in all the ways that all of the video game movies from the 90s were. But this one has an energy to it that's just a little bit different, and I love it for that. For one, the soundtrack really dates this one, but this one's fun in ways that, like, the Super Mario Bros. Movie isn't, for example. That one's fun for different reasons, most of which involve flor de caña. You drink it to enjoy the movie better. You guys want to know a secret? My first crush was actually Daisy from the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and I really wanted a pet dinosaur. And I'm 25, and I'm very disappointed that I don't have a pet dinosaur. Jack Horner, where you at? We had higher tolerance for things back then, didn't we? They play the Mortal Kombat theme 4 times. 4 in the whole movie. They were well aware. You came to this movie to watch fight scenes, and they delivered on that promise. I mean, Mortal Kombat is a fighting game after all. It knows what it is. It's not trying to be some grand epic adventure. It's not trying to make a statement. It's a movie about a bunch of dudes in funny costumes fighting each other. And for that, I have to salute this movie. 25 years later, and there's a new trailer for a new movie, and it hits all the beats. It has the imagery, it has the fight scenes, and they even pay homage to the original theme from that movie that we've heard so many times. Do you remember that time Smosh did like a video with the song, and it made the song a meme before memes were like a thing? You know, I'm getting pretty drunk for this one, guys. This is not an act, dude. This is real life. I really hope the new Mortal Kombat movie has fun with the franchise, especially looking back at this movie and seeing how tame it is. I really am excited to see where this movie goes. Dude, the thing Sub-Zero does with the ice, dude, it's so good. Like, the movie could just be 2 hours of stuff like that, and I would watch it. I mean, I'd have to anyway, because I have an internet show where I get drunk and talk about stuff like that. So like, but even if this wasn't my job, I'd still do it. Maybe. If there's anything we've learned from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and Detective Pikachu, it's that you can have fun with these franchises while staying true to their roots and not going the route of this.
Being afraid of the dark is what keeps most of us alive. So maybe you're thinking I'm an asshole scaring that kid for no reason.
The people who grew up watching this movie and thought it was the dopest are now making movies themselves, and that's a very exciting thing. So needless to say, I'm excited for this movie, and I hope you are too. Let us know in the comments down below. You know how YouTube works. You comment, you say I got a big nose, I heart it anyway because it helps the algorithm. We all have a good time. That's the exchange we got going on. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. So what do you think? What did you think of the new trailer, and what do you think of the original movie that came out years ago? Let us know what you think in the comments down below, and of course, don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe if you like what we do. We also have a Patreon if you're feeling generous. That way, maybe one day I can afford to eat food and not just flor de caña. Here's another video somewhere over here. If you like what we do, think you might like this one too. Love you all. Watch movies, watch anime, and hit me up in the comment section. Let's talk about it. I'm Mike Dangerous, and this is Talking Shots.